Ini sobat. Tapi udah dimulai sih rakit nomorku.
Do you have global orientation? International Program of Accounting or IPAC Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta answer this challenge. International Program of Accounting or IPAC Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta is one of the undergraduate study program under Accounting Study Program, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and is one of the leading study programs with superior accreditation from BAN PT.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Professor Rizalaya, Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. I welcome you to the International Program of Accounting. This international program is a leading international program in Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. IPAC has produced competitive graduates that have get good job international, also national. It has a job in the government institution, government-owned companies, and also the international cooperation. IPAC is very committed in providing best education for the student that it is competitive globally and nationally. IPAC has a large collaboration with universities overseas where we can send the student for the exchange student and Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and Spain, and other countries also, and also Turkey. IPAC student is a competitive student. They join a lot of competition and they win the competition also. IPAC is very productive in producing students with a big achievement. IPAC student is very active. They have a lot of visiting professor, they have exchange student, and also you have the opportunity in IPAC with a dual degree plus with master. You can study 3 years in IPAC and add 1 year in Asia University Taiwan. Then you can get your bachelor and also Sarjana Economy in UMA and bachelor at Asia University. And you have another 1 year in Asia University that you can get MBA over there. It's a very good opportunity and it's a very good chance, and then you will get it in IPAC International Program of Accounting. I really encourage you to join IPAC, that for you to have a good future. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
International Program of Accounting or IPAC is a special class that uses English as the language of instruction for students who are globally oriented, who plan to work in international companies or organizations, work abroad, or continue their education to abroad university. Currently, IPAC emphasizes learning on business mindset in the digital era, where in this era, it takes an accountant who can build accounting information system and digital-based accounting audit. The presence of digital era is of course also balanced with the formation of Islamic character. IPAC students are required to participate in student exchange, credit transfer for 1 semester, and can participate in double degree program in Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta International University Partners. Undergraduate student will get title Bachelor of Accounting or SAK, and with double degrees, student can get 3 academic degrees, consist of Bachelor of Accounting or SAK, Bachelor of Arts or BA, and Magister of Business Administration or MBA within 5 years. It is intended that students get international experience, both academic and non-academic.
Accounting Study Program, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, has the mission to become an excellent study program in the fields of accounting and business, as well as mastering science and technology based on Islamic values. In achieving such objective, organizing a qualified accounting and business education with international standard will be a must. Efforts for internationalization leads us to some programs not only in pursuing academic excellence, but also in broadening the collaboration with international reputable institutions to provide students with international exposure. International Program of Accounting, IPAC, is our program designed to prepare talented leaders in accounting with global perspectives. The activities cover visiting professors, summer school, outbound exchange students, and one promising fast-track double degree program in Taiwan. We believe that IPAC is a great opportunity to be taken for accounting students. Supporting the tagline, Young and Global, we provide millennials and holistic account prep.
What benefit will you get if you join IPAC? Which are First, opportunities to participate in a student exchange at partner universities around the world. Second, opportunities to do work internship program at financial institutions and government institutions. IPAC students will be an expert in English by getting intensive English course for 4 semesters and proved by a TOEFL certificate. Fourth, international community service. Fifth, international summer course. Sixth, visiting professor class.
Facing the globalization era, accounting department developed an international program of accounting, commonly called as IPAC UMY, that a class that delivered by English speaking. Initiated at 2014, IPAC grew faster to always updating internationalization issues. We came with some unique exercises to make sure our students having both national and international experience. By joining our activities such as double degree, summer course, student exchange, visiting professors, and other international activities, our students will have a memorable experience and many an overseas friends that make them having large connection around the world. So come join with IPAC and let us try to develop ourselves together both in accounting and international experience.
IPAC alumni who graduates with qualification working in the financial sectors such as Financial Service Authority or Otoritas Jasa Keuangan OJK, banking, private, government companies both domestic and abroad, and institution under the finance ministry.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aditaman Purwoputra. I graduated from International Program of Accounting, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta as a Bachelor of Accounting. Currently, I'm working as a foreign bank junior supervisor in Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy as a part of International Program of Accounting UMY, or we call IPAC UMY. I feel enjoy when studying with full facility, good friends in college, and also the professional lecturer. Studying in IPAC UMY, I have also increasing my soft skill by doing credit transfers. Well, that's all experience in IPAC UMY. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Abdullah Fakih Hidir, the alumni of IPAC 2015. Now I work at PT Wijaya Karya Persero Tbk, especially in high-speed railway contractor consortium project, as a staff of finance and human capital. During work in Wika, the role of accounting and IPAC UMY was very important in carrying out my work, not only because good accounting curriculum, but also a chance to study or practice outside the campus. And the important thing is the Islamic environment. Moreover, many lecturers, many professional lecturers, that ready to guide you in the process to be an excellent and Islamic accountant. So for me, choosing international program of accounting was a choice that I never regret. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hi, my name is Rashed. I am IPAC alumni 2014 and now I'm working at Kejaksaan Republik Indonesia as internal auditor. This profession means internal auditing knowledge which I ever received in IPAC. IPAC provides growth environment where we use English in class, we use English book, and IPAC provides a good curriculum. Besides, the collaboration between the students and lecturer are good so that the learning objective could be accomplished. Recently, IPAC has exchange program that is good for students' development. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all accounting lecturer, especially IPAC, for providing a good place to learn for us.
Let's reach your dream with IPAC Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. IPAC UMY, Global and Holistic Accountant. Currently, the advanced economic condition and the rapid acceleration of technological developments require businesses and organizations to manage economic resources and hire quality information as the basis for making the right decision. A controlled financial system is one of the success factors for an activity both for individuals, companies, and even countries. That is the role of an accountant. Do you want to be a part of that? Do you have global orientation? International Program of Accounting or IPAC Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta answer this challenge. International Program of Accounting or IPAC Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta is one of the undergraduate study program under the Accounting Study Program, Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and is one of the leading study programs with superior accreditation from BAN PT.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Professor Rizal Yahya, Dean of Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. I welcome you to the International Program of Accounting. This international program is a leading international program in Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. IPAC has produced competitive graduates that have get good job, international, also national. It has a job in the government institution, government-owned companies, and also the international cooperation. IPAC is very committed in providing best education for the student, that it is competitive globally and nationally. IPAC has a large collaboration with universities overseas, where we can send the student for the exchange student, and Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, and Spain, and other countries also, and also Turkey. IPAC student is a competitive student. They join a lot of competition and they win the competition also. IPAC is very productive in producing students with a big achievement. IPAC student is very active. They have a lot of visiting professor, they have exchange student, and also you have the opportunity in IPAC with a dual degree plus with master. You can study 3 years in IPAC and add 1 year in Asia University Taiwan, then you can get your bachelor and also sarjana economy in UMA and bachelor at Asia University. And you have another 1 year in Asia University that you can get MBA over there. It's a very good opportunity and it's a very good chance, and then you will get it in IPAC International Program of Accounting. I really encourage you to join IPAC, that for you to have a good future. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
International Program of Accounting or IPAC is a special class that uses English as the language of instruction for students who are globally oriented, who plan to work in international companies or organizations, work abroad, or continue their education to abroad university. Currently, IPAC emphasizes learning on business mindset in the digital era, where in this era, it takes an accountant who can build accounting information system and digital-based accounting audit. The presence of digital era is of course also balanced with the formation of Islamic character. IPAC students are required to participate in student exchange, credit transfer for 1 semester, and can participate in double degree program in Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta International University Partners. Undergraduate student will get title Bachelor of Accounting or SAK, and with double degrees, student can get 3 academic degrees, consist of Bachelor of Accounting or SAK, Bachelor of Arts or BA, and Magister of Business Administration or MBA within 5 years. It is intended that students gain international experience, both academic and non-academic.
Accounting Study Program,
Alhamdulillah.
Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, has the mission to become an excellent study program in the fields of accounting and business. as well as mastering science and technology based on Islamic values. In achieving such objective, organizing a qualified accounting and business education with international standard will be a must. Efforts for internationalization leads us to some programs not only in pursuing academic excellence but also in broadening the collaboration with international reputable institutions to provide students with international exposure.
Sik boy, tak boleh
International
no boy.
Program of Accounting (IPAC)
Ada yang
is
di
our
kantor ada
program
anak bangun.
designed to prepare talented leaders in accounting with global perspectives. The activities cover visiting professors, summer school, outbound exchange students, and one promising fast-track double degree program in Taiwan. We believe that IPAC is a great opportunity to be taken for accounting students. Supporting the tagline Young and Global, we provide millennials and holistic account prep.
What benefit will you get if you join IPAC? Which are, first, opportunities to participate in a student exchange at other universities around the world. Second, opportunities to do work internship program at financial institutions and government institutions. IPAC students will be an expert in English by getting intensive English course for 4 semesters
Empat satu
approved
satu satu.
by a tool certificate. Fourth, international community service. Fifth, international summer course. Sixth, visiting professor class.
Facing the globalization era, accounting department developed an international program of accounting, commonly called as IPAC UMY, that a class that delivered by English speaking. Initiated at 2014, IPAC grew faster to always updating internationalization issues. We came with some unique exercises to make sure our students having both national and international experience. By joining our activities such as double degree, summer course, student exchange, visiting professors, and other international activities, our students will have a memorable experience and many overseas friends that make them having large connection around the world. So come join with IPAC and let us try to develop ourselves together both in accounting and international experience.
Oke,
IPAC
jadi ini
alumni
master
who
plan dari
graduates with
pelayanan
qualification
MSDP
working in the financial sectors
dengan
such as Financial Service Authority or Otoritas Jasa Keuangan OJK, banking, private, government companies both domestic and abroad, and institution under the finance ministry.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aditaman Putra. I graduated from International Program of Accounting, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta as a Bachelor of Accounting. Currently, I'm working as a foreign bank junior supervisor in Otoritas Jasa Keuangan. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy as a part of International Program of Accounting UMY, or we call IPAC UMY. I feel enjoy when studying with full facility, good friends in college, and also the professional lecturer. Studying in IPAC UMY, I have also increasing my soft skill by doing credit transfers. Well, that's all experience in IPAC UMY. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Abdullah Fakih Hidir, the alumni of IPAC 2015. Now I work at PT Wijaya Karya Persero Tbk, especially in high-speed railway contractor consortium project, as a staff of finance and human capital. During work in Wika, the role of accounting and IPAC UMY was very important in carrying out my work, not only because good accounting curriculum, but also a chance to study or practice inside the campus. And the important thing is the Islamic environment. Moreover, many lecturers, many professional lecturers,
Okay, check. Okay, guys, did you hear my voice? Hello guys, did you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for responding. Okay, I'm gonna start this agenda with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. This is General Lecture Series 1 with our speaker, Dr. Mohammad Rashed Hassan Polas. If everyone is ready to start, I will open the sessions. Before we start, I would like to remind you to open your camera and don't forget to mute your audio. Yeah, I'm gonna repeat again if you don't hear me. I just wanna remind you to open your camera and don't forget to mute your camera, your audio. And also, I would like to inform you that you should rename your name to your full name since it will be used in the certificate. Don't forget to rename your name, guys, because it will be used in the certificate. The Honorable Dr. Muhammad Rashed Hassan Polas as the speaker for today's event. Miss Penny Nugraheni, SA, MSc, PhD, AKCA as a Director of International Program of Accounting, and Mr. Abu Jahid as our moderator for today's event, and the Honorable accounting lecturers and the participants who attend today's general lecture. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain amma ba'du. Praise to the presence of God Almighty, who still gives his guidance and mercy to all of us so that we can attend this general lecture in a good health. Blessings and greetings, let us devote to our Lord, to the Prophet Muhammad, who had brought us from the time of Jahiliyah heading into the era that is full of inayah. The topic of today's general lecture is research methodology, which will be delivered by our special speaker, Dr. Mohammad Rashed Hassan Polas, and will be guided by Mr. Abu Jahid as the moderator today. Okay, before jumping to the next agenda, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dandi Saputra, as the Master of Ceremony. Here, I would like to show you the agendas that we have arranged today. The first agenda is opening. The second agenda is general lecture sessions. The third agenda is question and answer sessions. The next agenda is photo sessions. And the last but not least agenda is closing. Let us start the first agenda, that is opening, by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, for the next agenda is general lecture sessions in subject research methodology and will be delivered by Dr. Muhammad Rashed Hassan Polas. This event will be guided by our moderator, Mr. Abu Jahid. He is one of an accounting lecturers from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. Mr. Abu Jahid, time is yours.
Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Dr. Mohammad Abu Jahid. I'm serving as a visiting assistant professor at International Program of Accounting, and for about 1.5 years. I have graduated from the same university in last year. Originally, I am from Bangladesh, and I'm really happy today to get another guest lecture from the same country. I would like to welcome Mr. Dr. Rashed Hassan Polas for joining this session. I would like to warm welcome to you. brother. And secondly, I would like to thank everyone who joined in this session to learn about the research methods. We know to learn research, we need to know first the research methods, how to do research. So it is very essential, very important, and effective to do research, to be a researcher, to publish the articles, to understand the novelty, the new things of the scientific world. So I would like to invite today's guest, Dr. Rashed Hassan Palash, brother, for delivering your speech related to writing high impact research papers, essential techniques and guidance, research methodology and the techniques. I believe you will deliver this speech for the youngest researchers so that they can understand easily from the very beginning, so that they can start their research life, as well as they can write the high impactful articles, and then they can publish in the reputable journals as their desire. So Dr. Rashed Hassan Palash is from Bangladesh. He is the lecturer in accounting in Sonargaon University. So I would like to invite you for delivering your general lecture here. And this is the time for you, brother. Please, when you start, again, you will briefly introduce yourself. Then it will be easy for the audiences. And I would like to invite the audiences to keep the questions record on you. After the lecture session, we will have the question answer session. You can also pass the question in the chat box, as well you can ask the question directly after the general lecture finish. So I would like to invite everyone to prepare yourself for asking the questions. And now I will invite Dr. Rashed Hassan Palash to start your general lecture. So this is your time, Dr. Rashed.
Thank you,
Please, time
Professor.
is yours.
Thank you, Professor, for introducing me. I'm really happy to be here to conduct a session on writing impactful research. It is very important for early career researcher. So I'm very happy to know that Professor Dr. M.D. Abu Zahid is from Bangladesh. And there is a joint collaboration session. There are so many students from my university in Bangladesh already joined to this session. So I'm very happy today. I will share my insights among both to world-renowned universities, early care researcher. Okay, may I start, Professor? Do you hear me clearly from your side?
Yeah, we are hearing. Please continue.
Thank you. You see my slide from your side?
I'd like to
Yes, sir.
request the audience, please, switch
For
off your
the audience,
microphone.
please mute
Please
your
continue.
audio. Okay, continue, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank UMA for inviting me to share my knowledge, share my insights regarding research paper, especially high impact research. Let me introduce myself. This is Dr. Mohammad Rashed Hassan Palash, working as a lecturer and a researcher at Sonargaon University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Before joining here, I was working as a researcher at the University of Lima, Peru. I completed my PhD in management from Malaysia. And after completed my PhD, I joined at this university. This is the outline. Based on these points, I will share my insights regarding high impact research one by one. First of all, we have to know why a good paper is so important for a early career researcher. Thing is that when you will apply for a master's, apply for a PhD at a high ranked universities, you need a good paper at the high impact journals. If you want to apply for a scholarship funding, if you have a good papers, a top tier journal, it will help you to get the scholarship and funding. And also when you want to publish your research paper or work to a high ranked or top tier conference around the world, so you need a good paper for the presentation. So it is very important. The good paper is so important. So we have to know how to write a research paper for submitting to good journals. As we know, after suffering, after struggle, we get a baby. So after getting baby, parents are become so happy, so blessed. So it's like for a early care researcher, if they publish their work in a good journal, after publication, it's like the happiness of a parent. First of all, we have to see the samples of good papers. Then I will share my insights one by one from abstract to conclusion. So first, I will share my recent papers that you will get from my site. If you see my recent papers on technology and entrepreneurial marketing decisions during COVID-19, you will see the title is so short and concise. So there is a meaning of it. Okay. Then if you see the what are the key point of a paper, for example, you will see an abstract, keywords, a good introduction. You will see some in-text citation, okay, then you will see a literature review or related works section, and then you will see
Nggak bisa bahasa
uh,
Inggris apa?
research methodology section, okay, then there is a result section, there is a conclusion and implication section, limitation and directions for future research, there is a ethical standard, there is a conflict of interest statement, there is a appendix section, there is a reference section, okay. There are so many sections are important for a good papers. This paper was published at a Q1 journal and AVDC A ranked and apps for journal. And you will see some important questions, some affiliations or demographics of the authors. So it is easier to write now that there are so many important elements consist of a paper. Okay. So I think you got the knowledge what type of components are important
Assalamualaikum.
for a paper. So when you start a study or a research, keep in mind, be patient. So the topic and work on it and never give up. For a good research, keep in mind there are three characteristics are so important. It should be unique. Unique means it is a good, it is unique, it have some uniqueness than others. It should be timely. It is 2024. So don't research on the topic of 2010. And the research should be easy to understand. Okay. So first thing, how to choose the research topic idea. First thing, point, identify your interest. What is your interest? For example, you are a student of accounting. So identify your topic from accounting. For example, it is 2024. You can choose intelligent accounting. You can choose green accounting. There are so many topics. So first, you have to align your interest. Then you can consider your career goal. Which career do you want to adopt? You want to go for a academician or you will go for an industry job. So you have to first consider your career goal. Then you have to explore the trends and gaps, trendy topic. What is the current trend? For example, currently maximum most of the researchers from social science, they are conducting research on environmental sustainability like that. So you have to think about that. So what is the current trend? Sometimes you have to discuss with your mentor, with your friends, with your colleagues, then assess feasibility. So which topic is best for fit for you, and think twice or thrice. Is it easy for you to get the data? Because data is very important for a good paper. Without data, you are unable to write a empirical study. So first you have to think the feasibility of your topic. Then you have to think about societal or global perspective. What are the current challenges or problems are facing the world around the world? So then you have to search for the gaps in literature. You have to test your research. What are the some questions you can arise in your mind? So you have to test it. Consider ethical implications. For example, if you conduct a study on human subject or animal subject, ethical consideration is very important. So you have to think twice or thrice. What is your subject for your research? Adopting existing topic, you have to evaluate your personal and technical skill. For writing a paper, you need personal and technical skill. So you will go through a seminar, go through a workshop, you will fit for a study and brainstorm your topic that I have already chosen. So based on this point, you have to use for choosing a research topic. Okay. So how you will search the resources for getting the ideas for new topic? You can search online, you can search Google Scholar, you can search academia, ResearchGate, Web of Science, Research ID, Thomson Reuters, Scopus ID. You can search if you from a technical or engineering department, you can search online IEEE website. This all the websites are networking place for researchers. These are professional site. Okay, you can use any, but I prefer you Google Scholar and Web of Science or research Scopus ID. But for early career researcher, it is very easy for you to search your paper, search your topic on Google Scholar. It is very effective for you. So after searching the topic, you get to know your ideas, what topic or on which topic you will conduct a study, okay? And then you will find a research gap based on this point. Then the thing is, uh, what you should do for a good paper, for original study, because there are so many study in research. For example, original study, review study, editorial, case based. So there are so many. If you want to conduct an original study, you need a framework or study model. Based on this model, you will go on, you will find the solution, you will find the factors. Okay. For example, if I just, for example, I just want to say, for example, you just find a topic, there's a manufacturing firms are facing challenges. So you would study to a Google Scholar search or different types of magazine, newspaper, you find that a farm performance is degrading. For what? For using traditional supply chain management, supply chain practice. So it's a problem. So you want to find the farm performance. Okay, if I want to increase the farm performance, usually what type of factors are liable for this? For example, after studying, I found some gap. I found that some study show that innovation capability of a farm is highly connected with farm performance. Some authors mentioned in their paper, information sharing capability is highly connected with farm performance. Someone told in the study, technological capability is very important, because if we transform a traditional system to a smart system, we have to adopt technology. So we don't have any technological adaptability. How we can adopt the 4.0 industrial revolution and upcoming 5.0 industrial revolution? So it is very important. For this, for example, I found three gaps. Okay, you can find 2, 3, 4, 5. It depends. But for my study, for a example, I just found 3 gap. Then I want to know which technology is very important, closely connected with farm performance. So someone told adoption of blockchain technology. It is very emerging technology that is emerged around the world right now. So I think some firms used adoption of blockchain technology. So if they adopt blockchain technology, what will be their farm performance? So based on this model, I want to explore 2 things. First, I want to know the relationship between innovation capability, information sharing capability, and technological capability with farm performance. Then I want to know the mediating role of adoption of blockchain technology between this one and this one. If I explain the model, what it means, is and every point is latent variable. It is another name is construct. As we know, without construct, we cannot build a building, with building infrastructure. So without construct, we cannot build a model. So each one name is construct, each one name is latent variable. This one is called independent variable. This one called dependent variable. Dependent variable means the ultimate motive of the study, what we want to explore. And independent variable is or are which are liable to influence a dependent variable. You see the arrow come from these 3. It means that it is independent variable. When the arrow point to a construct, it is called dependent variable. When this one is called mediator, the 2 things is very important for a model. One is moderator, one is mediator. So for my study, for our example, I put mediator. How adoption of blockchain technology mediates or work as a mediator or media for these 3 independent variable with dependent variable. Okay, it's a model I will try to cover one by one. Then if when we develop a model, after, for example, first we explore the ideas, then we'll find out the gap. What is the gap? Current gap. Gap means the lacking, that not explored, or if it is explored in your area, it is less explored. Okay, then after we just found the gap, then we'll build a model, research model. Okay, then after building a model, we will go for building or constructing a research survey research question. So first thing you keep in mind, research question, research objective, and hypothesis should be interrelated. There will be connection between this. Okay, then you have to identify which data you will use or you will collect from the respondent. It is quantitative or qualitative. What is your research objective? Think twice. What are your research questions? Okay, then develop your key construct and indicators. Key construct means we have already developed a model. Each and every point is construct. Indicator means which items I will use to measure the construct. Okay, then you have to think which question type you will choose. It will be closed-ended or open-ended. Closed-ended means the question will be closed within some points, within some options. You will provide option. The respondent will just tick the right option among the specified given. Then you have to think you will use Likert scale or rating scale. Likert, there are 4 to 11 Likert. You can use 4 Likert, 5 Likert, 7 Likert. Likert means strongly agree to strongly disagree. For example, if you use 5 Likert, you can say strongly disagree, neutral, or not to say agree, strongly agree. So it means lower to higher or higher to lower. Okay, you can use binary option, yes or no. You can put some questions that provides you 2 option only, either yes or no. For example, you want to know the respondents parents are entrepreneur or not. So you can ask, do your parents have a business or own business? They can just mention the option yes or no. It is called binary. Another one is open-ended. Open-ended means you will ask a question, the answer is open for them. They can answer anything from their side. Okay, so this is the designing survey questionnaire is very important for research. Then you have to draft a question. So then you have to think a question structure, how you design. First, you can put introduction, you can journal introduction, you can put screening question because you don't know the respondent. Without know the respondent, how you will collect data? Sometimes you will get non-response bias. Sometimes you will find the sampling error because you, for example, you target the Gen Z university student. They are either 18 to 27 years old, but the respondent you collect data are beyond 27 years. So how you will justify them? It is very important screening question. I will show you a example. Then you will put demographic question. Sometimes demographic questions are considered as control variable. Why? Because demographic questions like gender, are you male or female? What is your age range? What is your marital status? What is your education? It depends on your study, what you want to explore in your research. Then main question, okay? So first thing, determine the response scale. What will be the skill level? If you chose the closing date, then you have to decide it is 5 Likert or 7 Likert. For example, you just complete your question, survey question, then you have to go for a pilot test because you know the reliability source of your question. Is there any reliability of your source? Then you have to go for a pilot test and you have to revise it if any error found, just to revise it and finalize and distribute the questionnaire and collect data. And so is the method. Which method do you want to collect data? For example, you can use online survey platform, for example, Google form and different types of online form. Okay, you can make a phone call or you can collect data physically by yourself or your appointed research assistant. Okay, then we will see a sample of a survey questionnaire, how a survey questionnaire look like. Okay, you see a survey questionnaire of my recent study. First, you will introduce something. For example, I just put there is a specific carried out a specific research. Please take a short. That's it's a general statement, and you will make sure their provided data will be kept confidential and won't be used for any purpose because you have to ensure them. Otherwise, they will not get confidence. Okay. Then you will ask a screening question. For example, I conduct a study on Gen Z university student. So I asked them because Gen Z university student and who have already attended entrepreneurship development program at the university level. So I asked them, have you attended entrepreneurship development program at your university level? And at the early stage start your own business? If yes, then you are cordially requested to participate to the survey. That means I've already told them if you are included to my area, then you participate to these surveys. If you are not interested or you are not encouraged to participate to this survey. Okay, then you will find two sections. Usually most of the researchers use two sections, section A, section B. In section A, they provide demographic profiles. For example, in my study, I mentioned I pick the university student. So I want to know their gender level, it's male or female, their age level. Here I put 5 options. So usually in my country, the student starts the university level after 17, after HSC level, after diploma level. So I mentioned 18. And the current age of the student is maximum 27. That's why I just restricted to 27 years. Okay, so I want to know their marital status. Why I want to know this thing? Because entrepreneurial intention of a student for male and female not same. Their intention is different. For the age level of 18 to 19 and the age level of 26 to 27, their intention not same, should be different. The single person entrepreneurial intention is not equal to the married person. So we want to know. Sometimes that is the why Demographic profiles are called control variable. They control or make an influence on the dependent variable or the motive of the study. Okay. After demographic profile depends on your study, what demand. Okay. Usually there are some common. If it is individual level, it can gender, age, marital status. It is farm level. You want to know their establishment year, their production level, their farm size. So there are two types of survey usually we do. One is individual level, another is organization level. So demographic profile of individual level and organization level will not be same. Okay. Then you have to mention your main variable. For example, for my study, I use a demographic entrepreneurial values. It is adopted from Jahan Shahid et al. 2017. So I used 5 items. Keep in mind, for measuring a construct or variable, you have to put some statement. These statement are called item for study. Okay. For measuring this construct or variable or factor, I use 5 Likert. Most of the researchers are in a line. For social science research, 5 Likert scale or 7 Likert scale provide good result. So for my study, I used 5 Likert. You may use 4 Likert or 7 Likert. It doesn't issue. Okay. It depends. So after uh, completing the survey, I just put the in-text citation. Why? Because I used this item and this item adopted from Hassan and Elbauer 2016 paper. I adopted risk-taking behavior items from Brockman et al. 2015 or Gracia Granero et al. 2015. Okay, so you have to put the citation. Keep in mind, try to adopt the questions from previous studies or existing literature. Don't try to produce or develop a questionnaire by yourself. If you develop a survey questionnaire, then contract with 5 to 6 or 8 academic professor, academic researcher. They will check it, they will go through it and go for a pilot study. Because if your pilot study doesn't provide a good Cronbach alpha value reliability score, don't go with that survey questionnaire. So it's better adopt from previous study, or if your study is different area, you can modify your survey questionnaire by yourself. Okay, it is already tested, already measured, so it will provide you good result. Okay. So after completing the survey questionnaire, you will quote a general statement. Thank you for your friendly cooperation. It's a, so what we see, there are some specific construct items, and there are some demographic profiles, a screening question, and general statement. So you can design your survey questionnaire on your own self. So what that demand of for your study. Okay. Then what we'll do after designing a survey questionnaire, then you have to know what are the main points for a research paper. I have already shown you a complete top tier journals paper. So usually a good paper has a introduction section, literature review, or related works, methodology, analysis and findings, discussions and conclusion, implication of the study, limitation and directions for future study. I will try to explain one by one. Okay, don't think too much, just think simply. First of all, title of a research paper. So keep in mind, write a concise and informative title that reflects the main focus of the study. Always keep in mind that the title should be concise and informative. Don't write a title so many words. Here are some examples of papers of mine. For example, this paper published recently got 127 citation. This one got an 87 citation. This one get 19 citation. So good title and informative title is very important. When you write a title for study, try to align your top title with a good paper. For example, you want to explore the effects of efficiency in accounting performance of a firm. Okay. This is a topic. So you may search a paper on the Google Scholar or Web of Science or Scopus. Then you will find some good cited paper. Those paper got the highest citation. You try to keep your title similar to that title. It will help you to find your paper. And those people who are in good journals, editor, they try to follow your paper sometimes. Okay, for a standard for title selection, keep in mind it should be short and relevant. Don't make it more than 20 words. Attract examiners and readers' attention, should be specific, avoid jargon and abbreviation. Focus only 18 to 10 keywords. Most of the journals, actually I'm working also an academic editor of a Q1 journal. So when we receive a paper, we will focus our eye on 8 or 10 keywords. Sometimes we mention, please don't make your title more than 14 or 16 words. Sometimes we put the statement. So always try to keep your title within 20 words, but 8 to 10 words is standard. It is focused. Should be sometimes you remove your keywords. 3 to 6 title you should make. Why? Because during your peer review stage, different stage, you have to change your title, you have to change your concept. So you have to make 3 or 6 titles. You have to make your title concise, and 3 to 6 titles should be made. So whether it is change the topic or change the title, you just put one by one. Okay, sometimes discuss with your supervisors and other expert to finalize the title. Okay, yes, someone drawing something, I don't understand. Finian means what? Okay, I will answer your question at the end of the session. Okay, then structured abstract. When you write your abstract, keep in mind you should follow these points. For example, you can write a short background or context. You write down fundamental objective. If you write down a background within 1 line or 2 line, you can mention your objective of the study within 1 line. Okay, you provide your methodology of the study with 2 or 3 lines. You put your major findings and results within 2 to 3 lines. You can provide 1 or 2 lines for implication and limitation for 1 line. So if you follow this point for writing your abstract, it will not be more than 200 words, because most of the journals, they are in a line or alignment that the abstract should not be 200 words. Some journal provide standard, their abstract should not be exceed 150. So in this regard, you will make your abstract within 150 to 200 words. Okay, and I will show you an example of this abstract from my paper, from my raw paper, from my working paper. I will show you. Okay, first I will complete this one. For example, after completing your abstract, you will need to develop a introduction. How or which type of points you will discuss in your introduction. You may start your introduction with background or motivation of the study. What is the background or what is the motivation? Why you raise this topic? You can start. For example, what is happening now on your area, and what are the main reasons to study? You have to explain in a paragraph. Then you can write content and context of your topic. For example, set the background and context for your study. What are the conditions, settings, or situation with respect to topic, who are directly and indirectly involved for the study or for the topic, justification of their involvement. And then you can point out your problem statement and gaps. what are the problems that you used or that motivate you or encourage you to conduct this study. You have to mention, and you have to explore the gaps. So what are the gaps or lackings not explored before, and that you want to explore in your studies? Okay, clearly state the research problem and objective. Application: discuss the significance of your study. You have to explain why you are conducting or why already conduct your study. What is the significance? What is the importance? You have to mention from a theoretical perspective and from your practical perspective, because your contribution contribute to two things, theoretically and practically. Then you will explain, I will explain those things one by one. Objectives: what is the ultimate target, or what is the ultimate motive of your study? What are the reason you users started for the research? Okay, outline the organization of the paper. Then at the last point or last paragraph, you will mention the outline or organization of the paper. Then if you see research questions, research objectives, research hypothesis should be interrelated, should be specific, and should be clear. And if I example what the research question look like for my study that I have already showed you a model, I have uh, developed three research questions. First, we want to know the drivers that enhance farm performance among electronics SMEs in Bangladesh. Then we want to know how effective is the implementation of blockchain technology in enhancing farm performance among electronics SMEs in Bangladesh. Okay. Then we wanted to know how closely these drivers related to one another. Keep in mind, always put 3 or 4 research question. Don't exceed research question. Based on this research question, I will explore the solution. I will explore this answer. I will explore this answer, and I will explore this answer. Okay. So research question is very important. Thing is that research question, these three I developed for my study. When I go to the next point, that is research objective, keep in mind it is interrelated to research question. Why? I developed two research objective. One, I have already told that we want to know the relationship between information capability, information sharing capability, and technological capability on farm performance. And we also wanted to know to detect the mediation role of adoption of blockchain technology between innovation capability, information sharing capability, and technological capability on the farm performance. Okay, so it is very important to mention your research objective, how it is aligned with research question. If you develop research objective, then we'll go for hypothesis. If it is hypothetical research, in my area, we wanted to test some hypothesis. Okay, we developed 10 hypotheses. It can 5 hypothesis, depends. So what type of relationship we want to explore. In my area, we explore 10 hypotheses. Keep in mind the hypothetical statement, how it should be written. For example, we have written innovation capability has a positive and significant impact on farm performance. Farm performance is our dependent variable. Innovation is our independent variable. Okay, it is predictor that explore the dependent variable. Here we put two things, positive and significant, because the relationship we want to explore, there are two relationship usually exist. One is positive, one is negative. If this hypothesis is accepted, then we can say innovation capability increases farm performance. If innovation capability increase, farm performance will increase. If innovation capability decrease, farm performance will decrease. It is called positive relationship. If it is negative, then we can say innovation capability increase, farm performance decrease. Innovation capability decrease, farm performance increase. So there is a reason. In this study, we want to know the positive relationship. Another one is significant. Why significant? Because there are significance level. We usually consider 3 significant level. I will show you one by one. Just I just explore or clarification of these points. Significant level is, we consider 3 significant level. One is 0.001 significant level. Another one is 1.01 level significant. Another one is 0.05 level significant, and I will show you. Okay, so if this thing completed, then you have to consider the problem statement. It is very important. What means that due to absence of this research, what might be problems for an individual and for an organization? It is, if it is individual, then what will be the problems for the absence of this study? If you don't conduct this study, what will be the problem? You have to mention. For an organization, same thing you can explore. And gap means it to be focused, not explore it, or already explored but less in your area. Two things keep in mind: context, content, and theory. So tips and reminders for you: the problem statement should comprise of two components. One is industry issue and there is literature gaps. Another one is industry issue, that is use of different market statistics to justify the issues. Another one is statistics can come from various sources, for example, industry report, government website, newspaper. And keep in mind, always try to include up-to-date citations for your problem statement. Okay, classify the research gap according to research question. One gap, one paragraph. Sometimes you can put 3 to 5 gaps. For example, you are conducting a study for your thesis, for final year thesis. Okay, you have to mention your problem statement where you can put 3 to 5 gaps. One gap, one paragraph. One gap, one paragraph. Okay, then I will show you a sample of a paper, how a paper look like, or how we develop a paper. Okay, if you see, this is our current working paper. It is under third round to a top tier academic journal. So I just wanted to know, to see you this paper. It will help you to know the how a paper is developed. Okay, for example, it is title that we have already decided. Usually what happen, you previously you will write a proposed title. After completing your paper, you have to decide which title are best fit for your paper. For abstract, usually what happen, we develop this abstract after completing our paper. Actually, this abstract considered as a summary, consider it's like a movie trailer. 1 or 2 minute movie trailer sometimes provides you huge context of the entire movie. Same as this abstract will provides you the entire or the scenario of entire paper. What will write? See, we just write down the context or background. We want to say the blockchain. Here we just wanted to say transitioning from traditional to sustainable blockchain, supply chain blockchain, the critical role of organizational capabilities. Okay. So first we just wanted to provide the background of the blockchain technology. Then we wanted to know the objective. Then we just wanted to know the main model or main study methods that we have already used. Then we wanted to let the audience the findings of the study. Okay, and at the last point we wanted to know in a line regarding the implication of the study. So it is the standard for a paper to let the audience regarding the key points of the paper. Then key points, keywords. Keep in mind, always you have to mention 5 to 6 keywords in your study. These keywords usually used for indexing purpose. Indexing means your paper will be archived to the world-renowned indexing databases, for example, Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar. When someone searches the keyword blockchain technology, they will find the paper related to blockchain technology. They can, if the blockchain technology was your keyword, they may find your paper. If they use keyword sustainable development, the audience, if they use this word, they can find this point. So keep in mind, the keyword should be relevant. keyword should be managed or aligned with the top tier academic papers. You have to search on Google Scholar or other paper which keyword they used in your area's paper. Okay, for example, you just used some theory, TAM model, theory of acceptance model used in your study. You have to put it here, because if someone search the TAM in the Google Scholar to find the any paper, they will find your paper. And keep in mind, when you cite any paper to your study, your paper, always try to cite top tier academic journals. Top tier means ABDC, A, or APS 3-4 or Scopus Q1. Because when those papers will be cited by someone, they obviously cite your paper because those paper was cited in your paper. So out of 100, at least 80 to 90% paper should be cited from good journals. Try to avoid predatory journals. I will let you know what is predatory and what is good journals in our today's study. So if you start your writing from introduction, keep in mind what we wanted to know. In the first paragraph, we wanted to know concern about climate change and impact of business operation in this process and importance of their sustainability oriented practice. That means we start our paragraph concerning a topic, concerning a challenge, a issue, that is climate change and how it impact the business operation. So first, we just wanted to know in recent years the growing challenges posed by climate change. So when we concern the climate change or a challenge, then in the second paragraph, we wanted to know one of the business sustainability oriented practice can be adoption blockchain. It means when we concern a problem, then we just talking about a method or solution that can be a solution for the problem. We just mentioned adoption of blockchain technology. If it is a blockchain technology is used, the energy cost can be minimized, energy should be used efficiently, like that. Okay, so we just proposed or we just discussed about the solution, proposed solution. Then third paragraph, what we wanted to know, we wanted to know in order to adopt, if we just adopt blockchain technology, firms necessitate a certain capabilities or need a capabilities using RBV as foundation. RBV means it's a theory. From the theoretical perspective, what a firm need. Okay, because in your study you have to mention a theory. In our study, we used resource-based view theory. Okay, so you have to mention if you use blockchain technology, then what the firm capability needs. In the fourth paragraph, we just wanted to know how each capabilities facilitate blockchain technology. If we have some capabilities, for example, we have already told we need innovation capability, we need information sharing capability, and technological capability. So if we use this capability or these capabilities, how facilitate blockchain technology adoption, then we explore it in the fourth paragraph. In the fifth paragraph, we just wanted to explain how blockchain technology in supply chain improves farm performance. Then we just wanted to know how blockchain can improve a farm performance. Then we just wanted to discuss how findings contribute to the current literature, how they, because what already explored, the paper already published, they are called current literature. And when your paper will be published, after publishing your paper, this paper also will be considered for current literature or existing paper for the further study. So how you study will contribute to the current literature. You have to explain here. Okay, then you can put some other, for example, the organization of the paper, how the paper is aligned, how the paper is structured, which point indicates what. You can mention within 3 to 4 lines. Okay, in this way you can build a introduction. Okay, then I just move to the slide. Okay, one thing I want to know, do you understand my speaking clearly? Can you tell me, anyone? It is easy to understand? Arjun, do you hear me?
Yes, sir. It's easy to understand.
Okay, okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. If I move to the next slide, that is literature review and related works, how you will develop this section. First thing, keep in mind, always survey scholarly resources on a specific topic. The topic you want to explore, try to explore papers on those topic, okay? From the Google Scholar, from the Scopus database, Web of Science database, provides, keep in mind, usually you have to provide an overview of current knowledge. What are the current knowledge in your area? What other studies explain regarding your topic? You have to discuss this thing in your literature review related works. Sometimes you have to point out gaps in the existing literature. What are the gap? What are the already explored and what are the lackings in those papers? You have to explain in your literature review and appears as part of a papers or its own. When you write a paper, for example, topic, then you have to think whether or not it has been studied. Is it already started or not? If it is not started in your topic, then congratulations, you are the first one who are going to explore the topic. If it has the topic already explored, then what's the current age or what are the current lackings or problems facing the world? Okay, you have to think. Then you have to keep in mind regarding, you have to demonstrate your familiarity with the topic, scholarly context. You have to develop a theoretical model or conceptual model based on the literature review and provides proposed methodologies, and position yourself in relation to other researchers and theories, because other researchers already explored in your area. It can be the same topic or it is close to the your topic. So you have to mention who is authors or researchers explores which points in your study. You have to clarify it and how you want to conduct or how you want to explore in your studies, and show how your research address a gap or contributes to a debate. And you have to explain, you have already mentioned those problems already arised in the literature. So you have to mention how your study addresses a gap or contributes to the debate. Okay. Literature review regarding, you have to review previous studies, research related to your topic, establish the theoretical framework, identify gaps in existing literature, develop a conceptual model. So when you write a literature review, how you will start? First thing, when you find a paper from Google Scholar, Scopus, or other databases, first read the abstract carefully, what the abstract is connected. Because if the topic is not in your area, don't waste your time. So read your abstract carefully. Last part of the introduction, you have to know, because why? Usually, most of the research are good papers. In the good papers, last part of the introduction, they explain how the paper contributes to the gap or existing literature. So when they explain their contribution to the literature, you will easily understand the topic is your area or not, and limitations and areas for further research. You can explore this topic at the end of the paper. At the last point of the paper before references section, you will find a topic where the authors explore or authors mention the practical limitation of the paper or study, and which limitations can be explored further in which way they will explain it. Okay. Keep in mind, usually there are conceptual three types of literature review usually we explore in our study. One is conceptual literature review, one is theoretical literature review, another one is empirical literature review. In our conceptual literature review, we want to know the basic concepts of your research variables. For example, you want to explore a specific topic. For example, there's a climate change around the world. It's a specific topic. You can narrate the topic in your uh, literature review. What other researchers explored this thing? You can develop literature review based on a theory, assumptions of use theory, and try to find out your research variable, how your research variable is connected with theoretical perspective. Okay, you have to connect your variables with the theory already explored. You have to explain one by one. Then you can also develop a literature review that is empirical in size, empirical in style. You want to explain, you want to test some hypothesis. For example, in my studies that I have already shown you, in this study, I used empirical literature review. Why? Because in my study, we wanted to test some hypothesis. So you have to decide which literature review you want to explore or want to discuss in your study. Okay. So the next is theory and framework model. Keep in mind the theory should be connected with inductive, deductive, and abductive research. Actually, what inductive research, deductive research, and abductive research? Inductive research indicates that observing cases in the real world and then constructing a theory to cover all the cases. But deductive approach, what? It starts with the theory and then using it to explain observations in the real world. And abductive, it is both side in interactions, generalizing from interactions between theory and real world observation that I have already mentioned with the arrow. So for example, I have developed the research model based on my study, based on our literature review. For example, I want to explore this relationship with this one. I want to explore information sharing capability on farm performance. I wanted to explore technological capability farm performance. So I mentioned H1, H3, H5. H1 means hypothesis. Okay. Then we wanted to also know how these three independent variables are interconnected with dependent variables through the mediation effect of adoption of blockchain technology. So it is not mandatory which method you should follow. You can use only independent variable and dependent variable in your study. The framework will be very simple. So if you want to publish your paper to top tier journal, you have to put a mediator or moderator. How the mediator moderator plays a vital role in your study. So based on the literature review, by researchers developed this study for this study. Okay, as I just mentioned, developed by authors. It means that the model is not adopted from anywhere. It is developed based on the existing literature, but sometimes you can adopt another author's model to justify in your area. For example, a model or framework was examined in Malaysia, but you want to justify that model in Indonesia in the same context or different industry. You can. When you adopt a model from another studies, you have to write down or you have to mention the paper or cite the author's name adopted from. For example, my name is Polash et al 2014. So you can mention adopted from Polash et al 2014. So when you so you can work with two model. One can from your own model or from adoption of another model. Okay. Now I will show you how a paper looks like regarding literature review. The raw paper I have already mentioned. The paper I have already shown you. Now I will show you how we develop a literature review. In our literature review, keep in mind, literature review usually starts from 2.0 or 2. Okay, this section we explore the current scenario in our country base because this study was developed as per our country's context. Then, as I already know, let you know, we have developed a paper based on empirical in style. So here wanted to know innovation capability has a impact on adoption of blockchain technology. So you have to explain how the construct meaning. First, I just mentioned the construct meaning. Then I explained how this relationship is connected or interrelated each other. What other authors mentioned in their papers. Keep in mind this citation is very important for literature review. Why? Because this is not my overview. This view was adopted from other papers, other studies paper. Okay, so you have to mention the in-text citation and you have to put the full citation, full references in the reference list at the end of the paper. And keep in mind, try to put the recent relevant paper. Don't use all the citation, don't should not from the old one. Try to use last 5 years or last 7 years. Usually most of the journals, top journals, they asked for the citation from last 5 years, last 4 years. Sometimes they mention the year name for publication of the paper. Okay, when we explain the entire relationship from the perspective of other authors, at the end we just wanted to know, based on the relation, it is hypothesized that it means that already explained, already discussed by other research in the study. So you have to just connect your statement from the other author's point of view. Okay, then we just develop innovation capability has a positive and significant impact on farm performance. It means that already explained by other authors in the study, and based on the study we just connect our statement. Then you may develop another statement. You may start your point of view. You can explain the, so it means that when you write a literature review, first you will explain the construct from the perspective of definition. Then you will explain the current view. You can write down the current scenario. The relationship is explored by other authors one by one by one. Okay, then what we will see, when the model already developed from the existing literature or adopted from other sources, I have to go for the survey. I have already told you before starting the today's lecture, I told you how to write a survey questionnaire. Okay, so for example, we have already collected, as already
What is
developed
this
the
slide?
model.
Slide
Okay,
quizzes.
yes, okay,
Ini yang familiar.
yes. When we developed a model, we will move forward to methodology. It is very important. How your study was explored. What are the methods you
Ya,
used? First thing, research design. Research design means how you conducted your study, how you collect your data, what are the samples, how you determine your sample size, which sampling technique you used, how data collection was conducted, who helped you, is the construct or items used already are adopted from somewhere. If somewhere, who are the who those papers, who those articles, then have you tested your pre-test, pilot test? Okay, you have to explain your research design point. Okay, then you have to explain, describe your method of data collection, either primary data or secondary data. Have you collect your data from a raw source or the first hand data, or already used data and you just use the secondary option? You have to decide. If the primary data means the raw data that is not already used, you are the first one you are going to use. Okay, describe from where, when and how the surveys was conducted, because you have to mention the location, mention the time, duration. If the secondary data, then describe where you get the data source. You have to mention the sources and the time frame, from where and when, the time. For example, you collect the data between the month of August and October. So you have to mention and when, 2024. In this way, you have to mention in your research design. And pay attention to tense. You have to keep in mind regarding the tense. CE, candidature examination, and Viva, the English speaking or English fluency will not be same. In the candidate literature or candidate examination, you have to mention future tense because you are going to conduct a study. When you are going to face a final viva, it means that you have already completed your study. So in this regard, you can use past tense, sometimes present tense, but most of the time we use past tense because we have already conducted the study. For example, in my study, I use deductive approach for my study because I wanted to connect a theory with my model. So justification for selecting deductive approach, why we used the deductive approach, you have to mention, or justification. For example, our study was an quantitative method. So you have to explain or justification what are the reason you used. For example, research design. In my studies, or in our studies, we used positivism, not interpretivism or pragmatism. We used positivism. So positivism, why? Because we wanted to explore or observe the respondent, wanted to test a hypothesis, we want to collect the numerical data. In this regard, positivism gives us a good result. So if you use positivism research, then you have to provide justification why you use positivism. For example, sampling technique. If we use sampling, for example, in our study, we use probability sampling. In probability sampling, we use simple random sampling and cluster sampling. So if you use any sampling technique, you have to mention why you use this sampling technique in your study, the reason behind it. Okay, for sample size examination, there are so many techniques. Someone use Cressy and Morgan sample determination table. Mr. Cressy and Morgan in 1970, they published a paper regarding samples determination. They explored that if the population is known and number of population is, for example, 5,000, then what will be the sample size? If the population is 10,000, what will be the sample size? They just provide a sample table based on the known population. Okay, but sometimes you don't know the sample size, sorry, population, then what will be the yeah, because the main limitation of Christian Morgan is that they mention that if the number of population is 1 lakh 100k, then the sample size should be maximum 384. But the population is more than 1 lakh or 2 lakh, then what will be the population? That not mentioned. So it is a limitation for Cracer Morgan. But it is 2024. We use modern technologies. We use modern statistical tools. For example, smart PLS, AMOS in our study. So we use a modern sampling technique. So if you use sample to item ratio for samples that I mentioned in your table, it means that 5 to 1. It means how many questions you already used for measuring the main construct. Each item is equal to 5 sample. If we use 30 questions or items in your question survey questionnaire, you have to multiply those items by 5. It means 5 to 1. It is called sample to item. For example, you use 10 times rule model or rule method. How it works? It depends how many construct in your study, in your model. In your model, there are 5 or 6 construct. It means that the sample should be 10 times. If we use 5 construct, it should be 5 multiply 10. It means that 50 minimum sample size dimension for your study. It depends on your construct. And minimum R squared method you can also use according to Higher Airtel 2014. They also use Cohen's power table, where they mention that the R square, the coefficient of determination of R square, if the high, for example, in your model, there are two dependent variable. One is main dependent variable, and another one is secondary. Secondary means mediator. So you just keep in mind which one you will use for R square value. You have to consider how many arrows come from independent variable to dependent variable. So depend on the number of arrows, you have to decide which R square value you will use for your study. Okay, sample to variable ratio, 15 respondents per parameter. So, Higher 2018, they mentioned that if your sample size can be depend on your variable. If you use 5 variable in your study, you can use 5 multiply 15. So then it will be the minimum sample determination. What you use, you can use anyone, but you must justification from the academician of different types of papers. For example, I use a study and where I mentioned this one from private university in Bangladesh, academicians intention to adopt or intention to leave the job. Then I have to just provide a justification. Okay. Sampling technique. So first of all, I have already told how you will pick the population sample sampling technique, but we have to know What are they? Population means what? Population means the people or the items with characteristics of that one we used to study. The target audience with whom we want to work. The sampling, the representative of the population. For example, you are going to conduct a study among the students of UMI, accounting department. It means that accounting department student are population, but it is not possible to pick all the students from your department. You have to take the representative from those population. So when you pick the representative of the population, it means that sample, and that way you use it is called sampling. And sampling frame means an accessible section of the target population. Okay, and sample selected population for data collection and analysis. Keep in mind, usually we use two types of probability. One is we use two types of sampling technique. One is probability sampling, another one is non-probability sampling. When the population are known to us, we know the number of population, then we can use probability sampling. When we don't know the number of non population, then we can use non-probability sampling. For marketing research, sometimes we want to know the consumer buying behavior. We don't know the number of consumers are currently buying at the market. When we will collect data, we can use non-probability sampling. So probability sampling, usually we use simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified random sampling, cluster sampling, multi-stage sampling. There are so many sampling. Simple random sampling means we when we pick the random pick the sample randomly, each and every sample provides same valuation. Stratified, for example, if you use stratified random sampling, it means that you want to focus on some characteristics or features that differ a sample from the population. For example, you want to conduct a study among Gen Z university students. It means that you focus on the age level. When you want to conduct a study among family student, it means that you strata them based on their gender. For example, you want to conduct a study among the students who have at the level of undergrad. It means that you are focusing on their education. It means that stratified sampling provides the strata, they make a group, they provides the specific characteristics. Okay, and there are some other, that is non-probability sampling. I have already mentioned, I don't know the number of population, then you can use convenience sampling, judgment sampling, purposes sampling, quota sampling, snowball sampling. Snowball sampling, it means what? It means word of mouth. The sample we collect from word of mouth. For example, I asked you, please, can you please participate to our study? So then I also ask you, if anyone who are interested to our study, you may refer them. That means I have already collected data from a sample and ask them, please ask your friends, ask your colleagues who are in our study frame. You may ask them to participate. This is called snowball sampling. Okay, so there are so many sampling technique that we can use. So when you use sampling technique, you have to keep in mind, if you use your sample items from the previous sources, you have to provide the sources. For example, in our study, we used three construct for three construct. For measuring the three construct, we use 12 items, that those are adopted from these papers. For one dependent variable, we use 5 items adopted from Kim et al. 2021. For mediating variable, we use 5 items collected from or adopted from Polish et al. 2022. Okay, so these are the things you have to mention in your research methodology, from which you collect your research scale measurement. If you think about sample size, so Rosso 1975, he or she proposed 4 rules for deciding or establishing a sample size. They mentioned, but he or Rosso mentioned, the sample size should not exceed less than 30 or more than 50, 500.
So between this, you may use your sample size. But he also mentioned that in multivariate analysis, the sample size is required to be several times, preferably 10 times or more, higher, larger than the number of variables in the framework. If the sample is divided into subsamples, for example, male or female, each subgroup should have at least 30 respondents. For simple experimental research with full control over respondents' behavior, a sample size of 10 to 20 respondents is sufficient. But higher et al. 2006, they suggested that for smart PLS, if you use smart PLS structural equation modeling, you can use 15 respondent per parameter, or you can use minimum 100 or maximum 150 if the sample size are small. If the sample size are larger, you can use 150 to 400 is best. It depends how many sample you study. Most of the researchers, they discuss or criticize that more than 400, 500 sometimes provide non-response bias. So regarding sample size, you have to keep in mind which software or which statistical tool you will use for your study. Okay. So now you have to think about which um, statistical analysis you will use for study. If the study is quantitative, you can use missing, you can find out missing value, you can find out outlier, you can use normality of the data, how your data was distributed, is it in normal range or not. Then you can find out a demographic profile, the frequency, how many gender, how many male or female. You can use factor analysis, EFA, exploratory factor analysis, CFA, confirmatory factor analysis. You can use correlation analysis. Then you can use SPSS software for analyzing it. You can find out regression analysis to make the relationship. Then you can use SPSS. If you want to explore the measurement model or structural model, you want to measure your model, then you can use PLS SIM or CBSIM. CBSIM is covariance based structural equation modeling. PLS means partial least square structural equation modeling. Okay. You for mediation, I personally suggest you use PLS for the study, but CB in your study. For mediation, so moderation, you may use SPSS. It provides more result, but smart PLS also provides you more accurate result, but SPSS has some assumption that you may use in your study. Okay. Then if the study is qualitative means you want to explore more, you want to know the deep knowledge of a study. For example, you have already used thematic analysis based on your objective. So how you can explore your result, how you will present your result. First, you have to prepare your data and familiarization. You have to input the coding, how you will use your qualitative data. You can categorize and use theme development. You can interpret your data, validation and reliability checks, presentation of findings. Okay, you can use this one. So if you use the quantitative study, then what will be your analysis and findings? Keep in mind, present your findings, provide a thorough analysis. Keep in mind, so present your findings and provide a thorough how the result look like. Use table, use figures, use charts, summarize your key point, how you will present it. For example, in our study, hypothesis 1 was rejected. How? The beta value was this one, regression result was this one. The t value was less than 1.96. As we know, when we want to explore the relationship between variables, we follow the higher ATL assumption for the relationship. If the t value is less than 1.96, it will not provide a significant result. If the t value is 1.96 or above, it provides you a significant result. Okay. In our study, the t value was less than 1.96. So we are unable to accept the hypothesis. It was rejected. So findings, for example, the findings means what? When the result was rejected, then the findings innovation capability does not have a positive and significant impact on farm performance. Why? Because our result is not accepted, hypothesis rejected. So it means that innovation capability does not have a positive and significant impact on farm performance. Then how you will discuss the result in your paper? Keep in mind, low sample effect size and non-significant t-value, because our effect size is lower, t-value is non-significant, indicates that innovation capability does not meaningfully enhance farm performance in this context. These findings contrast with then you have to mention how your result is according to the previous study result or not, but our result is different. So we mention this finding contrast with previous research. We just mentioned those papers and which suggested a positive relationship between innovation capabilities and farm performance. That means that previous study find a positive relationship, but our study does not find any. That's why our result is the opposite of previous study. Okay. Then we mention we found another accepted result. For example, hypothesis 5, because the t-value is more than 1.96 and the regression result is larger, the effect size is larger, okay, and it is accepted as a good result, and the p-value is less than 0.05, okay. It means that technological capability, because in our hypothesis 5, the relationship or the statement hypothesis, we provide that a technological capability has a positive and significant impact on farm performance. So according to our result, it is accepted. So how we will explain it? You can explain the positive effect size, mention the effect, and significant t-value, you can mention the t-value, indicates that technological capability positively and significantly enhance farm performance in this context, which is consistent. But in our last hypothesis, we just put it is opposite to the existing result, but these results are consistent. Which result? Previous result of Chow et al, Heredia et al, and Shah et al 2024, 2024. Okay. In this way, you have to explain. Okay. One thing I want to show you from my paper, how the methodology can be look like, that I have already explored. I have already mentioned in my uh, lecture. I want to show the raw paper. It will easier for you to know how you can write your methodology. Okay. See what we write first. In the section of methodology, we write study context. You have to mention the context in your study. You can write down within 100 words or 50 words. That doesn't mean. The smaller the context, it will easier for understandable to the audience. Okay. Then we mention the research design, how the research design was adopted or designed, how the research was conducted, we explain here. Then we mention the questionnaire design, how the questionnaire were designed, how many questionnaire we used, how many demographic profile, how many main variable profile. Okay. Then we from here we adopted those items we just mentioned here. Sampling and data collection, how the sampling was conducted and how the data was collected. Here we mention each and every point. We mention who are the sample, who are the population, how many sample was collected, what are the location, and the version of the questionnaire. Is it the local language or English version? Okay. Then we used how the non-response bias was measured. So there are so many things. Then we also provide a framework how the study was conducted. This framework was developed by us. So we just mention how the define the research topic and how we provide the findings and interpretation. This is the through this framework, we explain each and every one. Okay, you can put this one also in your study. Then you have to explain for data collection, data analysis, which software will be used and how. Then you explain here, okay, and which sampling technique for minimum sample determination, which tools or which method you followed. You have to explain each and every one. I have explained each and everything here. For our mediation analysis, I used how the mediation analysis was analyzed. Okay. For findings, if you see, first we mentioned respondents profile, then we provide the respondents profile, gender, for example, it is organizational level. Then we just, gender means we just provide the informant gender who provides our data, farm size, farm's primary business, working experience, functional area. Okay, we explain it. Then we provide measurement, validity, reliability of data. We explain it one by one in our own way. Then we provide the hypothesis testing, direct and indirect relationships. We explain here each and every result. Okay. I think you got boring. It is a long lecture, I think. It is
No,
difficult
sorry.
to.
No, sorry. It was too much interesting, sir,
Okay,
and
thank you.
exciting.
I try to cover because it is difficult for a learner, for an audience to learn from a single session. If it is a long session, for example, 2 to 3 months, 10 to 15 class, it is easier for you. Okay, from today's class, after today's class, you will learn something better from the way you write a paper. You will conduct a paper or conduct a study. Okay, because it is difficult. So for a fresher, they don't know. It is very unknown for us, unknown to them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Doctor, please continue. No problem. I
Uh,
think we have a lot of audience. It's about 140. So they are understanding, I believe, and it's nicely describing. Nicely. Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
please.
thank you, thank you, Professor. Now we will explain discussions and conclusion. How you will provide your discussion and conclusion section. Keep in mind how you will start your discussion section. You will interpret your result that already you got the main point, the main result you got from your analysis. For example, in our study, we wanted to explore the hypothesis. So interpret the result, main result, summarize the findings or model, tell what your findings model mean, what the collected data uh, provides us the result. We have to mention those results here, how it works in your study. Okay, interpret your result in the context of existing literature. You have to compare your result with existing literature, how your result is relevant to the existing literature result. Compare your findings with previous studies, tell something about your contribution and recommendation. In this field, you have to explore how your contribution to the real world for practical use, how your contribution will be used as a theory for the further study, you have to mention in this study. Okay, if I show you our paper, how we mention the discussion section. See, point 5, we provide a discussion section. We start it with the objective. For example, our study of electronics firm in Bangladesh aim to examine what we examine. We just mentioned. Keep in mind, we also provide some citations. It means that our study also contrasts with previous result. So you have to mention and how this result means in your study. For example, in our hypothesis, we just explain our research confirms the positive and significant impact of information sharing capability on firm, aligning with the findings of Shaheen and Topol 2019 and Fang et al. 2021 and Sindar et al. 2023. How this result means in your study. This suggests that you have to mention in your contribution how it means. So not, it is not like you just explore the result, put the result. No, you have to mention, you have to discuss more how this relationship, how the relationship is interrelated, why, what are the reason. Then we just explain firms aiming to enhance farm performance should prioritize strength information sharing, is effective communication within the supply chain, plays a vital role. In this research, we also found it means you have to explain each and every result with the real world. Okay. When we move to the next slide, regarding implication, I have already told there are two types of implication. One is practical, one is theoretical. So I mentioned two hypotheses result here that already explained in a previous slide. From theoretical perspective, what it means. For example, our one hypothesis not tested, not provide the valid result. So it means that this finding challenges the resource-based theory because we adopted resource-based theory in our study, in our model. So this finding challenges the resource-based view by suggesting that innovation capability alone may not guarantee competitive advantage, highlighting the need to consider contextual factors in resource performance relationships. So same thing in practical contribution implication means that this finding suggests that managers should assess contextual factors before prioritizing innovation capability investments, as it may not universally enhance firm performance. That is why, because we did not get the hypothesis accepted. When our hypothesis accepted, then what will be the explanation? For example, from the perspective of theoretical contribution, this finding reinforces the resource-based view by confirming that technological capability is a valuable resource that can significantly enhance firm performance, supporting its role in sustaining competitive advantage. From the perspective of practical contribution, what will be it is this finding suggests that firms should invest in technological capabilities to strengthen their performance and maintain a competitive edge. Okay, then how we write our implication in our paper for practical perspective or theoretical perspective. For point 6, we usually put implication of the study. Under this hint or point, we explain how the model or the result provides us how it will be used from the theoretical perspective, how it will be used from the practical perspective. Okay, you have to mention in details. I just show you my paper because of better understanding, because for new research it is difficult to connect how the lecture will be connected with the paper. That's why I just show you my working paper. I think you are getting a better understanding from the point. Okay. So limitation and direction for his future studies. In your study, you have to provide the practical limitations and directions. What are the limitations or weak point of your study? For example, it can be geographical limitation. For example, conduct a study on Jakarta. So you can use this one to another city. You used quantitative techniques, but future research can be mixed method or can be qualitative for better understanding. Your sample size, for example, 198, the more samples should be in consideration. You used organizational level factors or variables in your study. Future research can be used the individual level factors. These are the practical limitations for a study, and you have to explain it in your direction of the study. Okay. For example, if I show you my paper, how it works or how we write it here. See, in our paper, under points 7, limitation and future direction, we just write down in this way. Okay. In a paragraph, it can be in a paragraph. It's better. They write down it in a paragraph, 50 words. Okay. Within some points that I have already told you. Okay. Then you have to think about citation. What is citation? That you use as a reference in the main body of the paper that I have already told. It's called citation, in-text citation. When you use an in-text citation, the lines, the context is not from your own. It is from adopted or collected from another source, you have to provide the citation. When you provide a citation, you have to mention the full uh, references at the end of the paper. Keep in mind, there are two things. References and bibliographics is not same. References that you used at the end of the paper, that was aligned with in-text citation of the main body of the paper. But bibliographies, you may read a website, may read a instrument, tools that was not used in your study. You can mention it in bibliographies. This is the difference. Reference means already cited in the main body of the paper. Bibliographies, you used or you just overview it but did not mention it in your paper. Okay. Then appendix, you have to put your questionnaire, survey questionnaire, any material that was not mentioned in the main paper. You can put it in the appendix section. Acknowledgement, you have to acknowledge, is there an organization, individual person or funding source who are you are grateful to them, so you have to mention the acknowledgement section. You have to provide the author's contributions, the first author, how he or she contributed, second author, how or she contributed, what they did. For example, first author contributed the administration of the paper or the main concept of the paper. Then you have to mention how the other author contributed. You have to mention it in the end of the paper. Conflict of interest, you have to mention in your at the end of the paper. Is there any conflict? Is there any financial interest? Then you have to disclose it in the conflict of interest statement. An institutional review board statement is very important. When you conduct a study among the human subject or animal subject, then you have to get ethical clearance code. So how it looks like, I will show you an example from my own that I collected for my recent studies. So I will show you how a just get me a minute. I just show you. Yes. Uh, from a local university in my country, recently we received the ethical clearance. So it is look like this one. Ethics clearance certificate. They will provide the ethics committee name, approval code, approval date, title, author's affiliation. Then is there standards? They'll mention it here. Okay. So ethical clearance is look like this one. So you have to collect it before conducting a study. It is very important for a good journals. For good journals, they will ask for a ethical clearance. Is there any ethical clearance certificate or not? And if you don't have, you will fall in trouble. Okay. Then regarding publication, how to determine quality journal, because there are so many predatory journal. Predatory means low quality journal that doesn't add value in your career, in your admission for PhD management. It will ruin your reputation. For example, regarding selecting a quality journal, they should be from a renowned researcher. You will take care, or you will see their profiles from Scopus, Web of Science, how they are cited paper, how they are papers, how they collaborated with others researchers around the world. You will see actual board members from different constant countries. How is it? Peer review is very mandatory for good journals. They take around 1 year, 2 year, 3 years for review process. It's a long time. Okay. Place of publishing, it can be Europe, UK, USA. Quality of previous issues, you have to look after the previous issues, their paper quality, how it looks like. You can get easily the paper journal quality. Publication ethics, indexing, is it Scopus index? First of all, for the early career researchers, someone maybe don't know what is Scopus. Scopus database where your paper will be indexed. Web of Science also is a database where your paper, abstract, and your title will be indexed. ABDC, it is a journal quality community. Australian Business Deans Council, APS, Association of Business School. These all are ensures good quality papers, good quality journals. Okay, you have to think about it. And sometimes you can see impact factor, sometimes you can see the JCI score. It provides you good journals. For peer review stays, keep in mind the good journal always blind review stays. They send your paper to a peer reviewer. The, the reviewer never doesn't know your main identification, who are the authors. Okay, it is called blind review. Double or triple blind, sometimes five times, six times review stage. One of our paper was published in 2000 in the accepted in 2020 during COVID-19. It is 24 already, but our paper is not published yet. It is around 5 years in press. So good papers, good journals sometimes take so many times. It takes time. It should be reliable. Maximum good journals free of cost. They will publish your paper in free of cost. Big known publishing houses around the world. How Elsevier works, you have to know Springer, Wiley, Taylors and Francis, Sag, Emerald, IEEE, Inderscience. There are so many big publishers around the world. When you publish your paper, try to search those journals, those publishers' journals, okay? And they provide usually there are four types of journals around us. One is limited access. They provide you limited access after publication. They give you 1 month, 2 months free access. Sometimes as author you will get 50 plus around 50 plus papers access, open access. You have to pay for it. You have to pay APC, article posting charge, a huge amount, $2,000, $3,000. Hybrid, sometimes they publish it as a standard access and publish it as an open access. If your university has a fund, you can go for open access, but you don't have any fund or institutional specific fund, please don't go for open access because you have to pay a lot. Then you go for standard access where you will transfer your copyright to the publisher. They will publish your paper free and they will earn the money when the readers will pay for reading those papers. And last one is pediatric journal, the low quality journal. It will ruin your career. How you will know the pediatric journal? From Bell list, Mr. Bell, Jeffrey Bell, he invented this list around until 2017. Those papers who are low quality are not listed to the bill list, is usually beyond the pedigree list. But after 2017, he doesn't presented the bail list 8. The pedigree journal sometimes asks for high cost publishing, accept paper overnight. For example, you submit the paper today, 2 or 3 days later they publish your paper. But good journals never do it. Okay, good journals, they do it, they initially screen your paper if it is best fit with their journal scope, and they will go for further extensive marketing strategies. Many publications within issue bail list website, poor profile, no promotion, discontinued. Sometimes they provide Scopus marketing, but it is discontinued from the Scopus. Okay. Sometimes India, Malaysia, sometimes in Indonesia also, I receive some scam email. They provide extreme marketing. They told me within 7 days paper will be published in Scopus journals. So avoid this one. For to select high, medium, and low quality journal, you have to search on Sigamago journal rank, where you can find the best. When you log in sigamago.com, here you will search a journal that you are going to submit your paper. If you find your paper here, you will see which rank it is. It is Scopus Q1, Q2, Q3, or Q4. Okay. Impact factors, sometimes you have to search on Web of Science index. Keep in mind, Web of Science always provides you impact factor, but Scopus provides you site score. So keep in mind this thing. ABDC, you have to search on ABDC journal rank list. Sometimes you have to search on apps journal rank list. If you find your paper over there, it means that the paper journal quality is overall good. So usually Australian Journal Business Deans Council provides ABDC journal rank within A star, A, B, and C. So if the journal is around A or B, A star or B, it means that it's good in quality. Okay, keep in mind, if you have 2 or 3 papers in A or A star rank journal, it will change your entire academic career. So always try to publish your paper in good journals. So sometimes ask your friends, supervisors, when you submit a paper to a journal, because you are very new to here. So ask your supervisor, get advice. Scholars are already published on those journal. Ask them if you know them. Have your own list. So if you want to search a journal and you want to list, you just follow this one. Name the journal name, how the indexing, how the indexing Web of Science, because this list will help you to publish your paper in good journals. Some countries, some universities provide you a list of journal, because where you have to publish your paper, without publication to those journal, you will not get the degree. So keep in mind, journal quality is very, very important. Submission, resubmission, and revision stage is very important. Keep in mind, when you submit your paper, prepare your paper as per the author's guidance, author's guidelines. Prepare a cover letter. If your cover letter is not good, you will sometimes get the, I will show you how a cover letter look like. It will help you a good insight. This is my current cover letter I have already submitted to a journal. Initially, I address, dear editor-in-chief, subject, you have to mention submission of manuscript, title, okay? Then you have to mention your paper, what your paper explored, the results, how it contributes. If it is not published anywhere, you have to mention, or it is not under consideration, and it is under any project, you have to mention it. It is under any resource grant. A good cover letter sometimes provides you a high chance to get your paper under review stage. Okay, it will not sometimes doesn't get the text rejection. So keep in mind, a good cover letter is very important for you. Then peer review process, you have to navigate, you have to correspond with the review process. Sometimes you will get revision, you have to resubmission, that is called R&R, strategic responses to reviewer. How you will get reviewer comments and how will you address it, I will show you two later today. And exercising patience and perseverance, we don't have enough time, that's why I just going so fast. Okay, I have just couple of slides only. I will show you the response letter, how we will respond to the reviewers. Usually we follow for our study two type of response letter usually we used. Just a minute. See, here is a response letter. First, we just put down the responses received from the reviewers, author's response, how we address it, and where we address it, change in the manuscript. You have to write down in this way. It will help to the reviewer or the editor-in-chief or a handling editor to get to know how you revised your paper. Okay, you can use this format. Maybe sometimes you have to, you are unable to use this format, then you have to use this one. You can. Sometimes you can use this format. Dear reviewer, we are pleased to resubmit your revised version of our manuscript, like that. Okay, you will see response to reviewer one, comment one, what the reviewer one commented for first, then response one, comment two, response to. You have to address it politely. Thanks for your valuable comments. You don't know, it is a bit tough for you, but you have to sometimes pamper them. Say, yes, we are happy to get your comment. Okay, in this way you can respond to the reviewers. Okay, then when we move to the next slide, it is very close to finishing our slide. Sometimes you have high intense competition and limited space. Good journals, they don't have enough paper slot. We have to compete with them. It has a rigorous peer review process, 3 times, 4 times, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and more. Sometimes it will take 7 to 8 years, 10 years to get your paper published. Diverse journal requirements, sometimes ethical consideration is very important, authorship, because regarding, for example, at the last stage, you add a author who is not at your list when you submit initial stage. But when you add a authorship at the end of the revision, sometimes the editor-in-chief asks you, why you used. Then the editor-in-chief or editor will send you and authorship change form and revision stage. They will ask you why you change your authorship. Then you have to mention them that this the specific author who is added at the 11th hour, who is contribute you for revision stage, revise the paper. Sometimes it is ethical, but most of the good journals, they avoid this issue. They may reject your paper. So keep in mind, some please avoid to add new author if they are not listed at the early stage. Balancing research with other responsibilities. Keep in mind, you have family. Okay, so keep family first, then academic. Professional and family you cannot mix. Okay, and suggesting for publishing research paper, early career planning you can do who are at early career. So you just planning if you are going to start your career as an academician. So early career planning, select a right journal. You have to select right journal, collaborate research effort, try to collaborate with good cited professor around inside the Indonesia, outside Indonesia. Early engagement of peer review. When you publish your paper, before publishing your paper, submit your paper to a conference. After before when you present your paper to a conference, you will get early feedback from your paper. You will get the early feedback from the review panel that will help you to revise your paper according to improve your paper. Rigorous methodological approach, sometimes it is very difficult for you. Method is very important. It should be practical. Comprehensive literature review, adherence to ethical standards, proactive response to peer review feedback, continuous learning and adaptation, and resilience and perseverance. Keep in mind, acceptance and rejection is a culture. One of my paper was got a rejection from 30 plus journal. After that, the paper was published in a Q1 journal. How? Because the journey is not easy. First, the paper was rejected. Then we tried to improve. We tried to after improving, and improving, the paper became a good quality. Then our paper was published. Uh, Now, question and answer session is open for all. I will try to answer one by one if it is convenient to me. You may ask your question you have. I will try to.
Yes, sir. Is it finish your lecturing?
Yes, professor. Yeah, I have already completed my slides. It is
Okay.
a question answer
Okay, so
session.
thank you so much for your presentation. We will have the question answer session. So we will give the chance to the audience to give the ask the question directly. As we will take the question from the chat box. I already accumulated the questions. You can see it. Within the time, I will try to uh, make an abstract, make a conclusion about your presentation. Really, today's presentation is tremendous and very nicely insightful related to publication. It's covered about the methodology as well as the publication. Actually, you have described many things, you have included many things, what needs minimum 1 week to understand for the students. Really, it's very insightful. I believe students got very valuable things and information from you by your presentation. I would like to invite the audience to prepare your question. Within the time, I want to make a conclusion about your presentation. You have covered all the area of writing an article or a thesis. We know that the main 5 part of an article or a scientific writing, with covering that we write first the introduction. Already you talked many things related to introduction, and also you talked about the literature review, the second. And within the literature review, we see that your discussion was elaborative and very insightful. I believe we can understand by your discussion that how to review the literature. As well, it is very interesting that you have gone through very deep in the methodology section. It is a little bit difficult for the new researcher, I think, but I hope they will understand. If you please provide the slide, then they can match with them and they can understand the things, I believe. And it will be easier for them than if they review again, because you have discussed from the very beginning to very deep, from the undergraduate to PhD level, I believe. Okay, so also you tried to discuss about the results of the research methods and also the conclusion. Really, your discussion was related to publication was very nice, that we should be very careful about the periodical journal and how we can calculate and compute to understand the qualityful articles, qualityful journal where we should submit, and how we can publish without paying, with paying minimum article processing charge or without paying the fees. So really it is meaningful, and we believe that in this way we can have the good researcher and the audience, the big number of audiences we see from different parts. So it is very significant and very lovely that the 140 participants were joined and enjoyed your presentation. I think it will be continued, and in this way we will have the knowledge and we can drop a minimum knowledge in the ocean of research. So now we will come to the question answer session. I think first we will answer the chat box. I accumulated the question. You can answer the question one by one, sir. You can share the question, no problem.
Okay.
Please.
I see a few questions from the chat box. First question was how to make writing scientific papers easy to create, understand, or for beginners with minimum English skill. Okay, so thing is that first keep in mind, when you search a paper, always download or search a paper from good journals. For example, Elsevier, Springer, or Emerald. So you have to download your paper. First, you read the abstract and title. Abstract is the main summary of the paper. So sometimes you can use your from your Google translator, because good papers, always the writing is difficult to understand for non-speaker. It is difficult sometimes for beginners. So you can use Google translator, and you have AI tools. You can use ChatGPT, Google Bird for understanding the meaning or translating the English to your local language. But if you don't know the meaning, just go through it. See the abstract, see the first point, paragraph of the introduction, and last paragraph of the introduction. This two paragraph is very important. And most importantly, how the paper will be used or was used, or the findings was used. You will see the implication of the study. The implication is very easy to understand. When you search 3 or 4 papers or go through it, it will easy to understand for you. Okay. Then what are the tips so that our articles can pass to Scopus? Okay. First thing, the main thing, the paper context, the study context should be unique, timely, and easy to understand. If your paper is unique than others, for example, it is 2024, you are working with green accounting or artificial accounting, intelligent accounting, it is different. So if you want to use the concept of intelligent accounting to a firm, how they intention, if you want to work on this, it will, that topic is first. Then technique is when you write your paper, Professor Dr. Abu Zaid sir already told you there are some key points that you have to keep in mind.
introduction, good introduction, literature review, methodology is very, very important. How you conducted a study. It should be chronological and in a flow. So you have to mention it. Then the implication and conclusion. And keep in mind for when you think sometimes your paper will be submitted to good journal, but will not pass the initial screening from the desk, from the editor-in-chief or editors. So keep in mind, when you submit a paper to a journal, try to cite 3 or 4 papers from those journal. It will help to get the high chance. And sometimes cite couple of papers from the editor-in-chief's profile. So if you cite 4 or 5 papers from the journal and editor-in-chief, keep in mind it will a high chance to get the pass from the initial screening. And if it is passed from the initial screening, if it is sent to the reviewer stage, it is high chance you will get a positive feedback from the reviewer. A very few reviewer will reject your paper because they will send the paper at least 3 reviewers, and minimum 2 decision is very important. If among 3, 2 give you first round, second, third round good positive feedback, it means that it is a high chance. If your paper get revision, that means R&R, you can send this paper to a high quality professor who have vast knowledge in your area. They will provide you a good insights how to revise a paper. I saw from my experience, I have so many students around the world who are pursuing their master's, PhD. They told me this is the way we can write paper, but we cannot revise our paper because the comment is very difficult. Because if, for example, sometimes in my perspective, the paper I show you, it is under third round at the business strategy at the environment journal. It is the top 5 journal around the world. I receive already third point, and first round I received around 74 comments from the 5 reviewers. 74 comments is so it is around, what can I say, more than 50 plus response letters, 50 plus pages, around 3 stages. So sometimes difficult to, but this type of paper will give you good career. So don't go for pedatory at the very beginning. Work under a professor who can help you, guide you, start your career. After a couple of paper collaboration with your professor, you can easily understand how to write a good paper and get a paper as a main author. Okay. Then please share the materials presentation of speaker. Sure. I will send the paper to the department for sharing with you. Today's lecture will be shared with you. I will send the paper, presentation to the department. What are the tips so that our articles can pass to Scopus? Already completed. We would inform you your session.
You can see the last, sir. I have accumulated in the last chat box.
Okay. Please don't forget to take attendance. Be sure to use an active email and full name for certification. Okay. I am Monira, doctoral student. How can I construct a theoretical framework? Need to explain the importance of independent variable. Okay. Theoretical framework and conceptual framework is on average it's same. Thing is that which theory influence your which construct. For example, in my paper, what I use resource-based theory. So I just mention those resource-based. For example, it is like construct a model. I just put the theoretical name of the in a box and just indicate which construct is influenced by which theory. This is very simple. Conceptual, theoretical, same thing, but in theoretical format, just use mention the theory with the conceptual model and indicate which construct is influenced or adopted from which theory. That's it. Theoretical model is very simple, okay? And yes, importance of independent variables or predictor. It is very important because predictor shows you the ultimate goal, ultimate outcome of the study, ultimate study or the dependent variable. Because if your independent variable is as usual, that is already explored, it will not get the attract from the good journal. try to input or try to get the independent variable or relationship gap from good journal, from good gaps. Okay, it's very important. Resource busy explaining state theories. Yes. And okay, is there any other question, Professor? I don't see all the questions
Yeah,
here.
in the last you can see that how to identify research gap and novelty in article writing.
Okay, for finding the research gap, you have to study a good papers in your area. Google Scholar, Scopa, Research Gate, Academy. You have to find the papers first. What the other researchers explored in their area, and what you want to. When you get a topic from newspaper, for example, in your country, for example, in my country, a traffic jam is very huge in my area, for example. So we have to know the papers in my area. For example, climate change is a common topic around the world. When you search the climate change paper in the Google Scholar, top journals, we'll get to know how other researchers explored this area and what thing is not explored yet. When you get this topic, the topic is not explored yet and already explored, but not much more. It is a gap. Okay. And you will find it reading the good paper journal and read the abstract. Yes, Professor, is there any question?
Okay, I think from the chat box is finished. Now we will take the question directly. So
Yes.
who want to ask the question, please raise your hand. We will give you the chance.
Okay, maybe one questions for who wants to ask, just ask the questions.
Who want to ask question, please raise your hand.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
This is Siraju Mundra. I have a question. What are the common reasons for rejection of articles in top journals?
It is very common to get rejection from top journal. It is a common culture. Sometimes thing is that the good journals pick the papers from the perspective that the topic is very new. If the topic is new and interesting, you will get the you will avoid the desk rejection, because sometimes the good papers, good academic journals, they receive 100, 200, 300 papers within a week. So among these 200, 300 papers, they select 15 to 20 papers. They just give 1 to 3 minutes, 1 to 3 minutes for selecting the initial stage. So in this regard, title is very important, should be catchy. Exactly. Abstract should be well written. They just read the abstract first. If the abstract is easy to understand and interesting, and they will read the methodology, how the paper was constructed, then they will see the implication. If the see implication is okay, that is theoretical perspective, from practical perspective. If it's interesting and new, there is a novelty, then they will pass it for review stage. Otherwise, they'll reject it. So keep in mind, when you work any topic or on any topic, it should be new, not explored, or should be interesting. Okay, among timely trend. For example, I found a paper yesterday on Elsevier journal on two or couple of authors worked on ChatGPT and students' intention. It is not a good paper at all. I read the whole paper, but topic is interesting. The how ChatGPT is adopted by Gen Z students. There is no new thing in the paper. It is like a student paper, but it was published in a Q1 journal. Even during COVID-19, one of my students asked me, "Sir, I am going to write a essay." Which topic? Sir, fraudulent activity of COVID-19 kit. COVID-19 kit. It is a fraudulent activity. I want to write essay. Okay, fine. Then he asked me, "Sir, can I submit it to a journal?" I'm like, "It is not possible to publish it good journal." So I can submit. I'm okay. 7 days later, he gave me acceptance letter. "Sir, it was published in Q1 journal." How? As the editorial note. So topic is very important and should be interesting. It should be trendy. You can search on Google. You can also get your knowledge from AI tools. You can ask ChatGPT. Yes, ChatGPT is ethical for knowledge acquisition. You can use for knowledge purpose. You want to learn, but don't copy any content from AI tool. You have to write from your own. You can search it on Google. So there are so many things you can get the trendy topic. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. For any other question from the audience, please? Any question from the audience? Any other one, please? Okay, maybe there is no question again. Really, we have
I
started.
have another question.
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah, please.
A question about the research-based theory. Generally, the theory used in farm resource. May I use the theory for explaining the state resource?
Yes, yes. Sometimes you can use your theory to predict the dependent variable, but you have to know how you will explain it, how you will connect your theory. Because I used here a model, but from the theoretical perspective, sometimes you can use the assumption of a theory to predict your dependent variable. But in this regard, you have to follow the conceptual literature review, where you can explain how your theory that you have already adopted explain the main focus of the dependent variable, the main focus of the study. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Professor, can I share my information if anyone collaborate with me or get in touch with me?
Please share.
Yes, yes, just a minute. Here is my information. If you want to collaborate with me, or if you have an intention to work under me, or you want to know, I'm very free, because I have individual social responsibility. I am always ready to train or help a new career early career researcher. If you have any question, you have any, you just email me or WhatsApp me, and you will get my research profile. You can also find me Academia Research Gate. So you just save it. If you find any question, if you need any help regarding research, I'm here to help you. No issue at all. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Rashed sir, for sharing your knowledge with the minimum type, the maximum input, I think. And also, we hope we will make the collaborative work
Sure,
with the
Professor.
student and the expertise. I hope it is started just now, and we can continue to get the output. And thanks every participant for joining this session, for having the knowledge. We believe that we will expand the knowledge by us, what we have gathered the knowledge. In this way, we can have the asset in dunya, and also we can have the asset in akhirah, I think. So thank you so much for your nice presentation, Doctor. And I'm really glad that I got you in this event as the same country, Bangladeshi. One of the Indonesian student said you the dhonnobad. Actually, you know, it is Bhasa Indonesia said
Bengali, right, sir?
is in they try to thank you actually in our language. Okay, so no more today. I would like to transfer myself to the host for closing. And really, I'm grateful to arrange this program by the International Program of Accounting, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, and for inviting you. I'm glad to the university, and I'm so also glad to you that you have accepted the invitation and presented nicely for the long time presentation. Yeah, thank you so much. I believe the student will get your resources after the closing session, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Professor. Thank you all for this interactive session. I'm really happy. If any session is arranged in coming days to this university, I will be happy if I can share my knowledge in coming days, or any collaboration on any research collaboration project. I will be happy to collaborate with you or share with my knowledge. Okay, thank you, Professor, and thank you all.
Thank you so much. I think there is a photo session, so I'm transferring now to the host. Please continue in your work.
Okay, thank you very much. But actually this is benefit for us. Thank you for presentations, Mr. Thanks to Dr. Muhammad Rashed Hassan Polas for the attractive material. Hopefully, it can help the audience to have a better understanding of financial accounting in research methodology. And thanks also to Mr. Abu Jahid as a moderator who got the discussion today more clearly. And before jumping to the next agenda, I would like to inform you that on Saturday, we will have general lecture series 2. Don't forget to join on Saturday, guys. And a week later, we will have another agenda again related to general lecture. And if you are confused, what did I say? Just stay tuned on our Instagram, IPEC or you can take notes on your phones. On Saturday and 1 week later, we have another agenda consists of series 1 or series 2. And now we are turning to the last agenda, which is closing. As the master of ceremony, I do apologize for any mistakes during this event. Finally, I would like to finish up by saying thank you very much for your attention and for your time. And before leaving this event, kindly please everyone turn on your camera because we want to take a picture. Okay, how many slides that we have? Can you open your camera, all of you, because we want to take picture together. How many slides that we have? Oops, 5 slides. Maybe it's gonna take 4 times to take picture. Okay. For the slide 1, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. For the next slide, can you open your camera in slide 2? Okay, open your camera, please. Because we want to take picture together. This is the last agenda. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. For the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The last slide. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention and for your time. Thanks for joining this event and see you on the next event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just want to say, don't forget to take attendance, guys, that we have shared in chat. Just take your attendance. Okay, that's it.